All right, back here on the Mike Chambers radio program on this Thursday, Philip Berg is our guest. His website is obamacrimes.com. And Phil is an attorney, was a Hillary Clinton supporter in 2008. And the issue of citizenship, eligibility to be president, was something that arose. One of the men at the forefront has been Phil. And Mr. Berg, welcome to the broadcast.
My pleasure to be with you. One part, it's a shame that we're still talking about this 2.5 years after we got involved in it, but Obama has been staunch basically against this, and he's concealing, if nothing else, he's concealing everything, and I'll go into detail as you ask me certain questions.
Well, you know, then that's the thing. I was matter of fact, I was talking about this just in the previous hour. We shouldn't even be having to have this conversation. If any question ever arose, oh, sure, they have no problem showing you. This is it. But at every turn, this guy has prevented any type of information from coming out. This Neil Abercrombie out in Hawaii says, I'm going to get to the bottom of it. And they even prevent him from doing anything.
Right. Well, I think on Abercrombie, I think that's, you're exactly right on prevent. I think what happened was Governor Abercrombie, a new Democratic governor in Hawaii, decided he's going to do whatever he can to show Obama's birth certificate. And he got hot news back in December. He was on every day, and it was a big thing. He was going to do his thing, and all of a sudden, you heard him. You didn't hear anymore. And I think what really happened is, I believe Abercrombie really believed that Obama was born in Hawaii, and he started doing this. And then one of Obama's people finally got to him and said, "Hey, shut the frick up, because he wasn't born in Hawaii, and you're just hurting us." And I think that's why he stopped. And I think it's just another example here. And as you said, when I started this thing, I filed my first lawsuit against Obama August 21st, 2008. That's going on 3 years. And when I said that, I said, prove me wrong. Show me that you're constitutionally eligible to be president, and I'll walk away. He hasn't. He spent over $2 million fighting against my 3 lawsuits, my 4 requests for injunctions to the U.S. Supreme Court, and about 100 other lawsuits that came around the country. You don't spend $2 million unless you're hiding something. And the problem here is the people in this country, not enough know what this is, because if they did, we would have an uprising. And not like over in the Middle East. We'd have an uprising by emails and faxes and phone calls, and the media would, maybe would do what they should have done 2.5 years ago and vet Obama, which they never did. They've given Obama a free ride. You're right. My website is obamacrimes.com, OBAMACRIMES.com. And my favorite slogan, and they're not suing me, because the truth is a defense. My favorite slogan regarding Obama is that he's a fraud, he's an imposter, he's a phony, and this is the biggest hoax against the United States of America in our history over 234 years. And it's outrageous. I commend Donald Trump for coming up on this issue. He's been on it close to a month now, because he gets the coverage that some of us don't get. And when he started out, he originally said he hopes that Obama can prove he was born in Hawaii. But the more that he, the more that he looks into it, he's sure that Obama wasn't born in Hawaii. And I think that's great. And I'm working on different avenues. We're getting ready to file another lawsuit against Obama under what's called the False Claims Act, or Quitem. We had one case pending on that. The reason that is, I'm stating that Obama is not only not natural born, which you need natural born to be constitutionally eligible to be president, but I believe Obama is not even naturalized. I believe his status is an illegal alien, and therefore he could not serve as a U.S. Senator from Illinois. And I've requested that I did, and will do it again, that the salary and benefits of about $1 million should be returned to the U.S. Treasury. That type case is usually done in Medicaid or Medicare fraud. And I state that because I believe at age 10, when he came back from Indonesia to Hawaii to live with his grandparents, that they sent him there on his Indonesia passport. And we have records indicating that when he was in Indonesia, first of all, you go back to the 2 books he wrote. One of those books he mentions he found his birth certificate, so show it to us already. And number 2, he mentions that his parents had divorced, his mother remarried, and he states, my stepfather, Lolo Soetoro, returned to Indonesia before my mother and I. And when I immediately went there, I immediately went to school. And we have the school record, and the school record indicates his name is Barry Soetoro, his nationality Indonesia, and his religion Islam, which is Muslim. Right. And that's significant because in the 1960s, Indonesia was at war. The only ones who could go to school there were those considered natural born. Well, we don't believe he was born there, but you were also considered natural born if you were adopted or acknowledged by your stepfather, and we have that evidence there. So I believe when he came back, he never changed his name. And people are starting to say, well, you can't, a minor can't be taken rights away from them. Well, I got in an argument with an immigration attorney on that, and that's what he was saying. He said, parents couldn't take away his rights, and he was born in Hawaii. I said, look, I don't think he was born in Hawaii, but even if he was, he lost it. I said, let's switch topics for a minute. How about all these children being adopted from Haiti? I said, he said, that's easy. I said, what do you mean? He says, well, they give up their family ties with Haiti, and they assume the parent's name here in the United States, and they take on the name, and they're adopted here in the United States with no dealings with their parents before. I said, well, how come you can acknowledge that with Haiti, but you can't acknowledge that to Obama? But everyone puts a different shoe on, for Obama.
Well, but another question that would come up out of this, okay, let's say that this immigration attorney is correct, and he kept his American citizenship. Where are the legal papers and the court documents that say he changed his name back to Barack Hussein Obama?
Great point. And also, where's the papers to indicate, because if his rights were given up, it's true, between the ages of 18 and 21, he could have renounced his citizenship with Indonesia and regained whatever status he had here in the United States. But I don't believe he had any status in the United States, and there's no evidence that he did that either. So his legal name, I really believe, great point, his name is Barry Soetoro. And there's indication of that because I think he was called Barry out in Hawaii, and I think he was called Barry even when he went to Occidental College in California when he started there before he went off to Columbia and did whatever he did, because no one remembers him being in Columbia.
Well, I remember I had a guy call into my show one night, back when I did a late night show, who claimed he went to high school with Obama, and said that he went by the name of Barry. And this would have been when he was in high school in Hawaii. Said he was an all right guy and everything, but again, that's the only real detail, almost the only person I've ever heard from who's claimed to even really know the guy.
Right, and what have we seen? We've seen no records whatsoever on Obama. You got to remember, Obama, one of his first acts as president, sealed all of his records. Now, people in the past, usually presidents or candidates for president, they show their records. They want a library with everything. We know nothing about Obama at Occidental, at Columbia, at Harvard, in the state senate. He sealed everything. Now, why did he seal everything? I really believe he sealed his college records because they will indicate that he applied for and received foreign aid, either from Kenya, where he was born, or Indonesia, where he was adopted.
Stay right there. We've got a quick break. We'll back in a minute. That's where I want to pick up when we come back. This is the Mike Chambers radio program. Chambers radio program, website obamacrimes.com, and the issue of this scholarship that he received, this Fulbright scholarship that he got to go to what is, I believe, Occidental College, is a scholarship only given to foreign children, not American children, or American students rather. But yet it appears that Mr. Soetoro, Barack Hussein Obama, or whoever, I mean, for all we know, he could be Bob Jones, was evidently a recipient of this scholarship.
Yeah, well, we don't know. Again, we don't know anything about him. Everything's hidden, and you have to go back into the primary for presidential. There was a question raised about McCain because he was born in Panama Canal zone, and they asked him to produce his birth certificate and other documentation. And because both parents were U.S. citizens and he was on a base, American base, he was considered natural born. It went through the Senate and everything else. I want your listeners to understand this. If both parents are U.S. citizens, wherever the child is born around the world, when the child comes back to immigration, that child is considered natural born. Also, we have a lot of people, more than Mexico than other places, sneaking across the border, women who are pregnant to deliver a child here in the United States. They're considered anchor babies for a different reason. They can bring their family in after they turn 18. But more important, those children are considered natural born if you're born here on the soil of the United States. The difficulty you get into is, not difficulty, but you have to look at the law in effect at the time the baby's born if only one parent is a U.S. citizen. With one parent being a U.S. citizen, the law in effect on August 4th, 1961 was that the American citizen had to live in this country for 10 straight years. His mother did. But however, 5 of those years had to be after the age of 14. 14 and 5 is 19. She was only 18 when she delivered Obama in Mombasa, Kenya, and therefore she could not convey natural-born citizenship to him. Now, some people say, oh, Mr. Berg, Phil, you're playing with technicality. Whoa, I'm not playing technicality. That's what the law was at that time. And the law said,